Lastly, for our news, because it's a super dry news week this week, if we're talking about Five Nights at Freddy's willingly, Jason
Woo!
Blum, the poor man, the poor guy. Every time he gets on any form of social media, hey, whoa, what are you gonna talk about? Five Nights at Freddy's, guys. I'm here to promote the next and probably final Halloween movie. What are you gonna update about Five Nights at Freddy's? Okay, I have news for y'all. We got the script approved, we have a director, and we're starting to film it soon. Yay! Can you leave me alone now? Please. I'm still amazed at the Five Nights at Freddy's fandom. Let's be honest, like what, 10 years past the initial hype? Because was it 2012, 2013, 2014? Was those like the prime Markiplier era
hmm
Five Nights at Freddy's years? I feel like they've been trying to get a movie ever since then, but is it
hmm
Scott Cawthorn is the guy that created Five Nights at Freddy's and is like the J.K.
Yeah.
Rowling of being uber possessive of the franchise and going, we're not making this movie until it's perfect. Well, they just added, the most perfect piece that you could add to this. In Jim Henson's puppet production company is the one making the puppets for Five Nights at Freddy's and going, the script could be terrible. You could cast, oh, I don't know, Amanda Seyfried, and I would still see this movie because you've got at least the dolls correctly. You got the animatronics correctly. The only problem is, at least to me, you took so long making this movie that something else has already come along and surpassed you in this, called Willy's Wonderland. Willy's Wonderland is just a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I don't know if you could top Willy's Wonderland because you're not gonna cast Nicolas Cage. I just know you, Blumhouse. You're not. And without Nicolas Cage, I don't know if I'm interested. I've never bought the hype with Five Nights at Freddy's. I remember sitting in some dudes' rooms in college and we would watch it, but like it was a communal experience. But other than that, I know there's deep history and lore and whatever else. I've just never got into it. They're all exactly the same, and now all the people are coming after me. Uh, what else is new? Josh, I don't know if we've talked about this. What are your thoughts on Five Nights at Freddy's, the game, the movie, everything?
I mean, Five Nights at Freddy's is like iconic video game horror. I don't know if video game horror would really be. How do I say this? It's a staple and changed the game in a lot of ways. Um, Horror video games are bigger than they ever have been. They're better than they ever have been these days. Five Nights at Freddy's definitely started a lot of people's love and being like, oh, you can like elicit other emotions, like stuff like Dead Space, stuff like oh geez. Uh I just had like a whole list in my head, but like just go look at Markiplier's like catalog, it's fine.
Mortuary Assistant,
Yeah, Mortuary Assistant, there's the dark Amnesia, the
Outlast.
Dark Descent, like there's Slenderman, the Arrival, like there's so many really good, actually legitimately scary games out there that I don't think would exist without Five Nights at Freddy kind of creating that buzz and creating that love. That being said, it's not a game for me. It's not something I've particularly enjoyed. I've enjoyed the most recent one more than I did this one. What is it? Freddy Fazbear's or whatever. It's like the new one that Mark and Jack have played, and it's pretty cool. It's a much bigger world. There's more going on, more puzzles. It seems more like a game I would play that's not just scares for the scares sake. Um, so it'd be interesting to see what direction they go with here. To me, you either go old school and go put like somebody in a chair in a room with and he just has to stay alive every night. I don't know what kind of story you build from there. Is the problem. Um, Unlike something like what the new game has to offer, which is there is a story, there is a direction that we need to go. There is obviously like there's a mystery to unravel if you get into all of the lore behind the Five Nights at Freddy's, but like at the same time you have to be very careful as to how you put the story out there because otherwise you're just creating like a boring experience, and that's not what you really want. I think my pitch is still go ahead with the original, or if you're not, go with what the new game is, where it's literally like a giant like Dave and Buster's level uh of Chuck E. Cheese, like huge. Make the security guard, I don't know, have him be played by the guy that does Polka Dot Man, David
Josh
Shaman or
Malshian.
something. Yeah, make it, because like that to me, he's like the perfect like. All right, I'm a reluctant hero in this story for some reason because I have a job that I hate, but I've got to get paid.
So
So
not Jay Baruchel.
correct.
I would
I don't
not
know.
hate Jay.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think there's a lot of ways that you can make this work. Honestly, I want to say what would be really interesting, but it makes Jim Henson's Creature Shop feel like a waste, is to make it a found footage style film.
I was literally just about to ask, would you
Yeah.
want this to be a found footage or not?
I think A, to separate itself from Willy's Wonderland, B, to make it feel something closer to the games. I think you almost have to do a found footage, but at the same time, that feels like having somewhat like as big of a name like Jim Henson's Creature Shop to come in and do all the costumes and the puppets and stuff. It feels like a waste if you're gonna slap it on a found footage style film. Now maybe I'm wrong in that, but like to me, you either go big or you go small. Like you can't. There's no way to go somewhere.
It's
in the
Blumhouse. I
middle
won't go
in my
super
mind.
big.
Correct.